Okay. So in the very start, you were trying to join the frontiersmen, the kind of thieves guild band of thugs that lived up around the frontier town of Medford, north of the capital city of the Kingdom of Astoria, which you can see on our lovely map up here. Uh,
Yes.
you went to the mine, shit went bad, killed people, got pretty ugly. Uh, got accepted reluctantly into the guild.
Yes.
Had another mission
Blah,
where
blah,
you
blah,
had
blah.
to go out, eventually, well, go to the lumber yard, then hunted down and killed two deer-headed eagles called Pretons, where you had many little AI companions. Only
Died.
two of them survived, going up the frozen mountain and then getting down the frozen mountain. Very brutal journey. And on your way back, the Tin Man got attacked by kobolds. You fought off the kobolds. The dragon arrived, threatened Medford if you didn't give it gold. It was all kept quiet, but the Frontiersman Guild decided to try and find the dragon's lair, rob it, and possibly kill it. You joined the group that were going to kill the dragon or steal from it, while everybody else stayed behind to hopefully help defend Medford in case of an attack. After many long days of travel through the snow and attempts to tame baby saber-tooth tigers that didn't go very well,
Oh yeah, that didn't go too well.
you got to the lair. Well, got attacked by the dragon before you got there, but got to the lair after finding some kobolds in the kobold lair, where the last of your companions died from a falling ceiling. But you got to the dragon's lair, set up a trap,
Yeah.
ambushed the dragon. The
He
battle
got away.
was hard fought,
Okay.
but he did escape after losing an eye to an arrow from Carrick, if you remember. You
Did
blinded
not,
him on
but
one
okay.
side.
Did not continue.
You didn't even
I
remember
remember.
blinding the big bad guy on
That
one
was like
side.
that was a cool shot too. It's like the eye went like right through as the ice was closing over, and then hit him directly in the eye.
No, I didn't remember that.
God damn
It's just not at the forefront of my mind, man. It's not. It's not something I think about.
Well,
I'm sorry.
after the dragon escaped and you all survived, well, you two survived, and Beric's father died in his arms, making him swear some promises with his dying breath. You then
Excellent.
loot. Wow, okay, Sam. You know, someone's.
Excellent. My
Yes.
father is dead. Excellent.
Was he not like your? Was he actually your real father, or was he like
Yes,
That's
your
not the
step?
point.
pretty
No,
much. Pretty much,
but he,
you don't know who your
but he
parents are
raised you.
anymore. Raised you, that's pretty much your real
Okay,
father at that
okay,
point.
okay, 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 okay.
Well, looted the horde, took a very long time, almost dying in the snow to get back to the hideout, to find it empty, floors and walls stained with blood, and the doors of the treasury still locked. And you have no idea what happened. Nobody in sight, no signs of what happened other than the stained blood floors and walls.
No.
Yes, now what do you want to do?
Um. How much food do we have left? Because I'm pretty sure I don't think I have any. Or no, yeah, I have zero rations left.
Yeah, most of the food got used up on the journey back.
Does Abram have any food left?
I will check. Apple. He has zero rations, only water.
How much do I
Uh,
have?
Probably zero as well if Abram
Shit.
has zero.
You also have zero. I think you were like
Right.
were scavenging berries or something on your way back to not
Wait,
starve.
hang on.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah.
Are we going back to Medford now? Yeah, just
Well,
get
yeah,
this
we don't
all-
have a choice. I'm staying. You know, die.
Where are we now
We're
on
at the
this
hideout.
bloody?
In the hideout. You're the red dot on the map.
Right. Okay.
It's like a
Right.
day's
Ah, sure,
travel
we'll do a day no
at
bar.
least in the snow and dark.
What's in
Yes,
the dark?
the
We should just stay in the hideout for an evening and
Can't.
lap. Why not?
'Cause we're out of food. The longer we wait, the worse.
What time?
It's gonna
Time of day is it now?
I think it's.
no, you
It's day.
got back. I don't remember what time you actually arrived back at.
Oh,
I
neither
think
do
it
I,
was
but-
at, like was it not night?
Maybe. I think
Why is the
it
Wi-Fi
was
not
like you
working?
just
Fucking
got there
shit.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it was. And then we got a good. We like slept in the beds or whatever.
Yeah, but we'll say you had a nice rest and it's morning now. But what would be morning?
Yes. So, right. I think we need to basically just set out towards Medford. Maybe halfway through the day, have a quick forage for food, and then use the rest of the day to travel.
Before you leave, is there any discussion or stuff you want to do in the hideout before you go?
Can't remember. We came back here obviously to find people.
I don't think so. I think the only thing I'd maybe want to do is I need to check here. If we don't have any wood, I'm not sure if A-bomb has wood or not. But we might want to break down any tables and chairs that are there. Enough of them to like make a fire for tonight.
Yeah.
In case we don't make it to Medford.
It's not too hard to do. Just smash up all the furniture and carry with you what you can.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be that much since you're already carrying a lot.
Yeah. Well, just enough to sort of get a fire going for the night or whatever.
Okay, so it
But
doesn't
besides
take
that,
you.
just ready to head out.
Okay, it doesn't take you too long to break up all the furniture to get some firewood. But when you're stepping out through the entrance of the hideout cave again, for the time in the morning you think it would be, the sun is extremely low in the sky, and it is very dark, almost like you're off the time by a few hours. But you know that this is the start of winter. The sun will slowly disappear in the sky each day until it does not rise anymore for the rest of winter.
Nice.
So the remaining light will be very limited and slowly decrease over the next few days.
Love it.
So the ground is coated with a nice layer of fluffy white snow. The trees above, all the leaves or branches are heavy laden with
What's that?
snow plopping down all around. And it is very cold. You can feel it biting through your clothes, like prickling your exposed skin. If you stay out too long, you might get some frostbite.
Frostbite's not good for you.
I don't think. I do have fine warm clothes, so
That wards it off a bit, but
Yeah.
it's like,
Back to when we climbed a mountain.
just need to get south. It's
yes. It'll slowly get warmer the further south you get, but not by much unless you make big progress.
Yeah.
So you would like to start heading Medford direction?
Medford. Yes.
Okay.
Early morning. Yes.
Yeah, like sun is barely rose.
And
So as you start your journey, towards the direction of Medford. You wanted to stop about halfway to rest and try and scavenge some food.
Yep.
Make some lovely survival rolls if you remember how.
Oh god.
Nice.
Click on my
Oh,
character name.
not good.
Wait, I'm nearly there.
Remember to roll for air bomb too.
Yes. Eba.
Oh, we're off to a good start.
Oh,
Ebom does well.
the man of this.
If I was playing, I'd come out in black and tans in the room behind me. and
Everybody
run
rolled
to the-
everybody rolled, a 2, a 2.
It's all two.
22.
baby.
So, you're all looking for, trying to find food in this covering of snow, but it's too cold for your hands to try and poke through the snow to try and actually find something. You already feel like the frostbite on the verge of beginning to set in. But while you're rummaging around, you just look over to Airbalm, who's like punching his way through a pile of snow. And just suddenly he just yanks something out. And it's kind of hard to tell what it is, but he's pulled out some sort of animal that's been killed by the cold and frozen underneath a pile of snow. But he is just yanked out. He's just holding it up going, "I found food! Let's cook her up and have a good meal."
What did he find?
So if you want to try and determine what it is, do some animal handling.
I don't care. We're
I'm
eating.
curious. Oh, well, there we go. For all I know, it's, I don't know.
You
It's in both.
think that
You'll
it's
not want that,
it's your old dog you used to have that you lost a few years ago.
My old dog.
Yeah, before you got your wee mouse, which you still have, by the way. There was a stray dog in town that you really
What was
liked,
his name? What was
Leroy.
his name?
Leroy.
Leroy!
But there's a stray dog in town. You really liked the dog. You always fed it, hoping it would become your dog. When you're looking at it like, oh no, that's the dog. He's died. He's frozen in the snow.
The dog's a fine meal.
Good enough for the chinks, it's good enough for me.
God damn it, Mackay. So you're gonna
Right,
set yourselves up a fire?
Yeah, we'll set up a fire and try to de-thaw the meat, I suppose.
For this, whoever wants to do the cooking, one survival roll for getting the fire and doing the cooking on one, just to speed it up.
So
Since you're in the
do-
cold,
So do two.
just do
survival
one survival.
Each?
No, just for whoever's doing it.
I'll do it.
So with your dry furniture, splintered wood you've brought with you, it's pretty good for starting up a fire. You get out your little, like, flint and steel with a few strikes. You get a nice burning fire and thaw out and then cook your wonderful meal. Gives you a better look at it now that the snow and ice is all gone. And it seems more like a young fawn, like a little tiny deer. That's coat wasn't thick enough to survive the cold. And just collapsed and froze under the snow.
Just a freaking hell. Hey, Bum could eat one of them fawns on his own.
There's not that much meat on it, but it's enough to keep you all going for the day.
Sweet. Right. So,
Continue your journey. Okay.
I'd actually grab a stick out of the fire, try to break it with me.
Kind of like a torch.
Yeah.
Helps the cold a little bit. So as you keep traveling on with the snow, it's difficult to find the normal path you would take back, but you can see what looks to be starting to freeze over ocean out to the west. You can see the coast, and just by following the rough direction of that, you can find your way back towards Medford.
Yoo-hoo!
So as you're beginning to come out of the thick forests and all the snowy trees, you're going over the bumps and hills, and as you crest over one of the last hills at the edge of the tree line, you see a few small wisps of smoke rising off in the distance, the direction Medford would be in.
We've made it. At
Huzzah.
least someone's still alive.
So you keep on going.
Push on.
Okay, as you push over the hill and out of the forest into the clearing that extends out from the settlement of Medford itself, now that the sun is, it's like rose and then it's starting to set again, you're almost blinded as the light sparkles and shines off the area where Medford would be, like shining a candlelight on a mirror straight into your eyes. It's quite hard to get a good look at what's actually going on, but you still see the smoke rising up above the glimmering lights.
Okay, I suppose we'll just have to power on towards the smoke.
Okay, pushing your way through the snow. In this area, now that there's no trees, the snow seems to be a lot deeper. Where it would have been maybe about a foot of snow in the tree line, it's now maybe up to 2 or 3 foot of snow coming up above your knees as you try and push your way through. And with this full day of traveling, you can see that the sun is already dipping to like dusk. The sun's almost set. You can definitely tell that the days are a lot shorter and will soon be complete darkness.
Can I put on my goggles now?
You can wear them whenever you want.
Yeah, I'll put them on. Then it's getting a bit darker.
But now
Want me to see.
that the sun's almost fully set, the glimmering and sparkling light has reduced. It's not as bad, and you see where the once palisaded walls of wood and the houses and the roofs extending above those would stand. You see most of them that are left standing coated in ice, others completely shattered, portions of the wall frozen and just crumbled as large weight or force has been put upon it and shattered the frozen wood itself. Only a few buildings stand actually intact, though none of them are untouched. The only buildings that look more than half still there is the main storehouse in the center of Medford, made of stone. The only building in the actual village constructed of stone. And just outside the town, on a slight rise of a hill at the coast, you see the Lord's Manor, which is where the main portion of smoke is rising from. As you see little campfires placed outside around the wall, on the wall, smoke rising from the chimney of the house itself. It seems it has survived whatever battle took place mostly unscathed.
Didn't I not burn down a house?
You would not be able to find which house you burnt down, because just think, someone made a sand castle, and then someone threw a bowling ball on the sand castle. There's not much left of the sand castle.
Do we see any sign of, people?
Make perception checks.
There we go.
Okay. So as you're peering into the settlement itself, barrack, you can't really get a real good idea of who might be left alive. You can see a bit of movement now and again through the broken portions of the wall. And there's a lot of movement up at the Lord's Manor itself. But with the half-elven eyes of Carrick, you peer first up at the Lord's Manor, where you see a lot of helmets, spears, bows lining the little wall around the house. Patrols going around the outside, making sure all the fires are still lit. And looking towards Medford itself, the first thing that catches your eye is where one of the gates would have stood, which is completely collapsed. And sticking out of the snow, you see, almost frozen in time, the bodies of some of the victims of the dragon attack. Frozen in place, coated in ice just outside the gates. You can see movement inside, the glitter of some of the light catching off pieces of armor and metal, spear tips. But there's not much room to see through the cracked parts of the wall to actually see who it is inside Medford that still lives.
Okay, well, I suppose there's only one
This is
way we're gonna find out.
Pretty shocking.
So do you want to keep approaching Medford?
Yeah, don't have much choice.
Okay. So as you're forcing your way through the rest of the snow to close in the distance, now that you're getting closer, something else catches your eye that wasn't clear from further back. You see where most of the walls have been completely frozen over and shattered in places, but something out of place seems to be hanging on the walls. In areas, there's parts that at first you thought just weren't frozen, but upon getting closer, you see that it's not wood, it's cloth, and leather, and parts of metal hanging on the walls. Do you want to keep going?
What the hell happened?
Do you want to try and get a better look with your little goggles? Maybe adjust the lenses a bit.
Yeah, I'll see if I
You
can.
might not
get
want
away.
to put them on.
I have them on.
Roll some. Okay, not too bad. Are the elf eyes going to take a look as well?
So much death.
Well, Ebom will take a look. Ebom sees nothing. He's just kind of kicking at the snow. Very confused.
It's probably making snow angels.
Possibly very deep snow angels. Trying to adjust the lenses of your goggles a bit. The shapes, like at a guess, you would say there's somewhere between like 4 and 7 foot tall, maybe between 2 and 3 foot wide, hanging on the walls, made of cloth and fur and leather. I think you have a rough sense that they might be bodies, but you can't pick out any specific details from where you currently are.
It's fuck, man.
Do you want to keep going?
May as well.
Okay, so Carrick starts taking the lead, pushing in closer, and each step is becoming more and more difficult. The snow at this point now almost up to your waist, where it just keeps getting deeper and deeper the closer you get to Medford itself. And not just deeper, but almost as if the snow is more solid, like not as crumbly, has more resistance to it than you would normally expect with snow. So
It's icy.
it's getting harder to push through the snow, but you are making progress. Getting
Yeah.
now almost right up to the walls, you can see that hanging on the walls by ropes tied on the other side are bodies hung by nooses around their necks, dangling loosely, unfrozen, seemed to have been untouched by whatever killed the people that were fleeing the town.
Yeah.
But they hang there,
What?
dead.
Oh, oh, they hang their dead. Why don't they bury them? Okay.
Trying to make a perception check.
Yes, I'm so
Go ahead.
confused.
Okay. Is Barrack going to take a wee look? See if you might spot anything about these bodies.
Are they
Um,
criminals? Are they criminals?
I suppose I'll have a look.
Okay, so as you're looking, they're definitely people that are hanging from the walls. They all look like they're like relatively geared for some sort of battle or conflict, of patches of armor and different defenses in places like bracers, maybe some like shin and knee guards. Though they're all, every one of them hung with a noose around the neck. So there are quite a lot of people hanging from the walls. Maybe every 10 or 12 feet, there seems to be another one hung on a mostly intact portion of the wall, all the way around as far as you can see at the minute. So there's maybe about 10 or 12 bodies hanging that you can currently see.
This is the governor's work. These men were not killed by dragons.
Then who the hell killed it?
God, he just said who he thought killed them. You need to listen.
Alright.
Eric, shake the snow out of your fucking ears.
Will do.
Looks like we will have more than beasts to deal with today. Be ready.
What is your next move?
So we're just at the walls right now.
You're a bit
Like
back
the
from the
gateway.
walls, but you're pretty close. There's like a
How
couple
big is the
holes in it, and you could climb over the smashed gate. Well, there's like a few ways in if you want to go in.
Do we see men on the gate, or do we see men?
Not on this wall. On
Okay.
the Lord's Manor,
Yeah,
which is on a
the
little
wall.
hill, there's men patrolling on it. You did see movement inside these walls,
Yeah,
but it's
well,
hard to tell.
we can't go back. So over the wall we go.
Just want to
And
find like a gap in it and climb through.
Yeah, or I could use my grappling hook and some rope, whatever's handier. If we can find a gap, that would be easier.
Probably walking like a couple paces one way and just climbing over a hole. It's not a very intact wall anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But as you all start scrabbling over the wall to the inside of Medford, you get your first real glimpse at the level of destruction. The first thing that sees you where there would have been houses a few feet from the wall itself, you just see snow-covered rubble. A few beams and pillars standing here and there, but about 80% by what you would guess of Medford has completely crumbled and been destroyed. There's just portions of walls and like collapsed roofs everywhere as far as you can see.
Tavern from here.
Make a perception. The tavern's like nicely in the center, roughly, of the town, so you might be able to.
Can see.
No, you cannot.
Right,
You know
well.
where it would roughly be, but you can't see it standing from where you are.
Well, I think making our way towards the town center is probably our best bet.
Okay.
Isn't that where the stone
Yeah, that's where the
storage
storehouses
thing
are.
is?
They're like in the town center, slightly closer to the docks.
And
So
then is Nathan's house
it's dockside as well, somewhere.
is it dockside? Okay, we'll see if it's still standing too.
Okay. So are you just boldly walking through it cautiously? Like, how are you approaching this
Well,
situation?
what does there seem to be like? Is the snow just as deep inside the town, or is there like tracks going
Not
about,
as
or
deep. It seems more packed down, like regularly traveled.
right? Well, we'll maybe cautiously walk towards the town centre.
Okay, make some
For a
stealth
minute there, you're
rolls.
gonna say you're going tactical prone, and I was like, lol.
Mm, that's a terrible roll.
Fuck, I love +9 stealth.
Poor
Oh,
devil.
so like taking the lead, you guys start, getting down into your stealthy mode, trying to make sure you don't slip, creeping between crumbled walls and pillars, and then you just hear the crunch, crunch, crunch of each one of Ebom's steps pressing down into the snow with his immense weight.
Could you be any fucking
I just
louder?
kind of look over my shoulder and just decide, oh, this is definitely not gonna work. So stand back up again and walk normally.
Okay. So the closer you start getting to the town center, you're beginning to see that the snow becomes more packed and hard, more like actual ice. And you're starting to see as you come around a corner, getting close to where the tavern would be, you see your first frozen statue of a person up close. You, when you see them, you get a bit of recognition. You didn't know them well, but it is a member of
The
the
town.
guild
Oh,
that's
no.
standing wearing some patchwork leather armor with a bow drawn back like mid-draw, just frozen with fear in their eyes. They've probably been like that for a number of weeks, still standing there frozen in the encased in ice. Much like the adventurers you find within the lair of Frostheave that you got your goggles off.
Okay, okay.
So as you keep going, like row of houses by row of houses, down the alleyways through the streets, you start to see more and more of these frozen people. Most of them look kitted out for battle, and most of the ones you see you vaguely recognize as guild members. And the destruction of the houses gets more destructive. There's less houses left the further in you go. From maybe half of the walls standing a pillar here, part of the collapsed roof, to just complete rubble, flattened under a great weight.
Okay.
You get to a point pushing to one of the alleyways where there's people have been frozen running into the alley you're now walking through. You can see the look of fear in their faces as they're looking over their shoulder and running. Just gives you a glimpse of the kind of fate these people suffered based on your own experience of the dragon. And getting past these group of people, you see the main clearing where the battle must have took place. Where roughly where the tavern would have been, and there's nothing. There's a slight hole in the ground, which would have been the cellar of the actual tavern itself. Pretty much in the center of this clearing of absolute rubble. Just wood and splinters everywhere. You see bodies frozen in ice, some of them completely sheared off, only a pair of legs and part of a torso left standing. or have this been cleaved in half by dragon claws. So, roll perception checks. Damn, so many low ones. So, what Carrick would have noticed at this point, none of the bodies you've seen frozen are in the gear that would be worn by the guards or the men of the Lord. They've all been patchworked armor of guild members or townsfolk who stayed to fight.
Ah, okay.
But this clearing has quite a few bodies in it, all frozen and shattered.
Like, can we? Is there any buildings at all around, or like anything? Is the only bit of life that we can see coming from the Lord's castle?
At the minute. You haven't seen any people still alive in the actual town of Medford yet, but it does look like it has been periodically well traveled in the last few weeks when you've been gone.
Okay. Right. Well. Are we close to the store then?
That would be across the clearing. So you could see a bit of rubble and destroyed houses, and then the other side of that, you see the storehouse still standing. A couple holes bashed through the roof, but the stone structure itself still there.
Oh, might as well go over and see if we could. I highly doubt there'll be anything salvageable, but you'd never know. People could be.
Okay.
Is Nathan's house in that direction too?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
on the other side of that, closer to the actual docks and the poorer part of like the more slummy area. Though his is quite a nice house for that area.
okay.
So as you start going that way, do you want to go through the clearing, around the clearing, or what way do you want to go to the storehouse?
I think we'll maybe go around the clearing.
Okay.
Knowing that this is starting to get very suspicious.
So as you start to carefully make your way around the epicenter of where this battle would have been, trying to hide amongst what remains of the houses, you start to get a better look at the warehouse before you get there. And you see what wasn't there initially. As you started to circle round, you start seeing a little wisp of smoke start to rise, and an orange glow on the walls as it comes into visual range through the ruins.
Oh,
So someone has just lit a campfire while you were making your way there.
Right.
is it dark or getting darker?
It is pretty much almost pitch black.
Lethal.
Though you can see in the dark, and the goggles Jacob has help him see in the dark.
Right. Air bomb. You hold here. If you hear any fighting,
You can come a
you know,
knocking.
you know what to do.
And Mom just kind of, slumps down onto the remains of his stool to sit there, but the stool just breaks and...
I did not mean to click that.
Oh, you wasted a 20. Nice.
Oh well.
Right. Me and Car who get a closer look. So you hold here. Come on, Kark.
Okay.
So you're gonna sneak your way up? Ooh, very nice. Oh, very, very nice.
That was 9.
We're a stealthy boys.
Invisible, bruh. I don't know what you're on about. Never seen me.
Now I need to work out how to do my rolls again, because I don't remember. Nope, that's not it. I don't remember the thing I had to type in.
That didn't allow us to say it.
Yes. Is this it? Aha! This is it. Right. Perception. So, as you're sneaking your way up, making as little noise as possible on the snow, you start to get a better look through the darkness in the glow of the campfire, where it seems like two people, armed and armored like men of the local lord, sitting just to the side of where the entrance to the storeroom would be, talking in low, hushed voices to each other, kind of roasting something on a spit over the fire.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of all this?
I don't know.
Seems awfully suspicious. The hanged men on the walls. The fact didn't see any of the Lord's men frozen or dead in the courtyard.
Bandits,
No.
maybe? Picking up scraps? I don't know.
They have the sigil. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I've got a plan, but you're not gonna like it.
Right.
I'm gonna sneak up around behind them. You're gonna waltz on in there and say that you're from the guild, and you're gonna ask them a few questions what happened. And if it starts to get violent, I'll sneak up behind them and cut them up.
How many people are we talking here?
Two.
How many can we see?
Two that you see.
Just two?
Only
Just
two.
two. Is there any... Are they off to the side somewhere, or is there
No,
more of them anywhere? Or
they're sitting around the campfire, the two that we can see.
have we
anyway.
seen anyone else?
These are the only two living people that you have seen.
I mean, right, we can see that they're like roasting something. What size of thing are they roasting or cooking?
Probably rabbit-sized.
Oh, that's only just two people. Freak that. They're definitely alone. Lad, even if there's like 10 of them, I mean, we'll be grand. We'll just kill them all. Abraham was there, so
So be it.
I mean, think about it. We'll get to eat the chicken after,
Food
no
will
matter
be
what
right.
way it goes. You know,
Yeah.
right?
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna wait for you to get into position first before I go anywhere, so good luck with that.
Right. I'm going to stealth around to the opposite side, Andrew. If
Okay.
that's possible, to where Carrick will approach from.
Okay, make stealth.
Feel me? Oh, it's okay. It's not terrible.
It's
Or
not
is
natural.
it?
It could have been worse.
So as you start to creep your way
Oh, God.
around through the buildings, and you're trying your best to stay quiet over the snow, when you're going past the ruins of one of the houses, you hear the slight crack of glass underneath your foot. Where there,
Oh,
were-
you
where there was a
fucking retard.
like not loud, just like a small, tiny piece of glass just underneath the layer of snow that just kind of but echoes into the dark. You just freeze, glance over, and you see one of the guards kind of look up, and then go back to turning the meat on the spit.
You fucking dingus.
But you do make it the rest of the way around to where you want to go.
Nice.
While he's doing that, what is Carrick doing?
I'll wait for him to get into position and then these big fellas or I'm curious to know, like, only two people we've seen. They've got a funny sigil on their arms, however. And
It's the
everybody else
Lord
is.
symbol.
Oh, it's the Lord
They're
symbol.
just
Right.
two standard guards. Stop being a pussy and get in there.
Okay, I'm just curious. Just want to know what I'm getting into. But yeah, we shall just waltz up to the fire then, where they're at.
Okay, so you're just walking up to where they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you start striding out towards them, you see the closest one glances around and spots you since you're not really trying to hide, grabs a crossbow from the side, stands up,
Hey, boy!
points, is
You
like,
wouldn't shoot.
"What are you doing here? Who are you?"
You wouldn't shoot an unarmed pedestrian, would you?
He gives you a slightly funny look, looks at his friend and looks back. Unarmed, you say?
Look, I'm only acting the hay. Like, I've only just come back from hunting that damn dragon. You're gonna shoot me? At least give me something to eat, would you?
The two of them kind of glance back and forth at each other, then look back to you like, "Yeah, yeah, come on to the fire.
Nice.
Have a bit of our rabbit here. It took us a while to find it, but if you killed that dragon, then you need a good warm meal in you, and you can tell us all about the story of how you killed the dragon."
That'd be grand. But what happened here? Like, I'm seeing a lot of death around here. Like, so you wanna fill a man in just before?
The dragon it swooped in during the night. We weren't prepared. We had ballista set on the walls. We had people on watch, but it came in the dead of night, dropped from the sky like a meteor, slammed into the ballista towers and took them out before they had a chance to fire. And he just like kind of freezes, like kind of 100 yard stare, just staring into the background, and his friend beside him just kind of gripping his shoulders, like it was bad. Many, many of our friends and families, they got ripped apart by the beast. I never want to see horrors like that again.
That's cap, boy. Alright, sorry. Right. Do you know one question I have though? Just before 8th Rabbit or whatever the fuck this is. Um, why are their bodies hung up outside that aren't frozen?
Oh, those were the
Outside.
looters. After the battle, they came in
Uh,
and tried to rob what was left of the houses in the storeroom. But we caught as
Look
many
like
as we
the
could before they escaped and strung them up.
like decent enough folk to me, but they might have said anything else. I was not here. I don't like this. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. I'm just gonna. Oh, do we have like a whistle or anything that we did at one point? I can't remember a fucking thing. No, we
Did
probably
you?
didn't, did we? I'd like to give Barrack some sort of signal, and just go on. These guys are fucking with me here, like, but I don't know how to do that. Obviously, he can see me.
Yeah, you can see where you are.
And where am I sitting in relation to them? They're obviously sitting beside each other.
They would be like, so there's the wall. They would have been kind of like sitting leaning against the wall. Then there's the fire, and then there's you.
I'm on the opposite side of them.
Yeah, you're across the fire from where they are.
I'm gonna have a piece of rabbit.
So you're gonna like accept the offering of food.
I'm assuming Barrack can see me, so if shit does go down,
Yeah, he
I
can
don't know how he
easily
can
see you in the
stealth
firelight.
into. Yeah, that's right. I don't know where I'd have my dagger. Probably like where Bronn would have it in Game of Thrones. I'd be there just putting one hand behind my back, keeping her steady. One hand on the rabbit, one hand on the knife. Sits down.
Okay, so you're gonna like reach over and take the spit of the freshly cooked rabbit.
Yep.
Okay. as you're doing that, we're gonna do we roll off between Beric and these two guys to see who's gonna go first here.
Oh right. Just initiative roll.
Yeah.
I feel confident.
Okay,
Oh
so
God, 18.
so you would have the chance to act first based off what you're seeing right now. One of them's standing with a crossbow, kind of like half aimed, but lowered a little bit. Other guy's still, he's like sat back down. He's got his hand rested on a spear beside him, but he isn't like actively holding it, wielding it.
So the boy's pointing a crossbow at me.
Kind of. He's like
Hmm.
near the way. He's not like holding it up, aiming it at you. He's kind of got it at his side, pointed your general direction.
Hey, boy, you wouldn't lower that crossbow down to me back there. You make
See,
a man
this
feel
is
wild nervous.
where do I? The way they talked about looters, I feel like they're definitely talking about
Themselves.
no, they're definitely talking about the people from the hideout. Like, and it's just too suspicious. Also, I wonder could I kill both these people or knock both of them out in one go.
Just
gonna have to-
hold on it.
I'm gonna have to kill one of them.
So
Right.
I'm while he's prepping to kill.
Well, this is a
so-
split-second decision. This is before you can do anything.
Damn it.
This is in this
Darn
instant
Lord.
before anything happens. What Barrick's choice is to
Right.
wait and observe or
Okay.
take an action.
Um, uh, right,
think they're
so
full of shit,
one's
like,
sitting
so-
down at the campfire, obviously like looking at Carrick, and another one's got a crossbow.
Yeah, he's currently still standing, but the crossbow's like just kind of hip fire style aimed at him.
Is the crossbowman got his back to me as well?
They both would.
I'm gonna sneak up on the crossbowman.
The closest
Uh,
one would be the spearman.
Damn it.
Hold on, I'll bring you to like a rough map
Yes.
that I'm
Just help.
that I was doing while you were talking. So this big box is gonna be like the storeroom where they are. You can position wherever you want to be around here, but this is where the two of them
Oh,
would
okay.
be. So
Yo, horse.
like all along here
Yarning here.
would be the ruined houses.
Right. Right, we're just gonna have to take the chance and send it. Right, I'm gonna sneak up on the spearman, pull out my dagger, and then put it to his throat. And command the crossbowman to drop his crossbow.
Make stealth with advantage, since they are distracted.
Boom. Oh, it's good. I had that.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so you've snuck up behind this guy that's currently sitting down against the wall, and you want to like get a dagger around his neck.
Yeah.
Okay, with your stealth, you'd be easily able to do that. So you now have just swiftly, like a gust of wind, just whipped round the corner, grabbed him, and pulled the knife around. And the other guy hasn't even like fully realized what's happening yet. So what did you want to say?
Drop that crossbow, or I'll slit your friend's throat.
You see him
Go
kind of like freeze up, reach the crossbow to one side, and just drop it like arm's length away and look around at you like, well, what are you doing, man? We're just doing our job. Just guarding the storehouse. No need for things to get nasty.
Car,
Hold on.
take that
Yeah,
crossbow.
I'm here. What happened? What happened? I wasn't here for anything.
I
God
put
damn
a
it.
knife to one guard's throat and told the guy with the crossbow to drop his crossbow. So go lift this crossbow up.
I will lift the man's crossbow.
He's like starting to like raise his hands in the air. The other guy's kind of doing the same, keeping them away from the weapons. Like, you don't have to do this. There's plenty of supplies left for everybody. We're rationing them out to try and survive the winter.
Right.
What's your
Gonna
wife's
check.
name? What? You said his family died horribly in
Their
the fight.
families, my guy. Like
Oh,
Right.
the people's families.
Right. I'm gonna just take the spear out of the guy's hand, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna remove the knife from his throat. So I don't want to kill this guy. I just want answers.
Okay, so you've moved the spear out of the way, and
And then
Took the
I'm
knife
gonna
away.
Move then away from his back and let him stand there normally. And I'm just gonna
they're
stand
kind of like, pressed up against the wall, hands up, ready
Put
to
your
be.
hands down.
They kind of lower them a little bit, but they keep them up.
Now, you're gonna tell me what happened here. And if I think you're lying, my
Cut your
friend
fingers off.
here is gonna put a crossbow bolt through that knee.
They just
Okay?
glance at each other, and glance back to you and slightly nod.
Now, we're from the guild, and I
Okay.
want to know why all of my guildsmen are dead, and why they're hung outside the fucking walls out there, while not one of you friggin' guard pricks are lying dead in that courtyard with us.
You can either roll intimidation or persuasion,
Oh,
whichever one you want.
Definitely intimidation, lad. I mean, damn it, I rolled advantage. Sorry.
take 17. was the
Oh,
first
that
one.
would be the first one, which is 17. So, as you're looking at them, you see that the guy who would have been sitting out of the spear, he looks a lot more like calm and level-headed, whereas the guy that had the crossbow seems a bit shaky and jumpy. So he's kind of like eyes twitching around, looking around, but before he can speak, the guy with the spear talks first. He's like, "We already told you. The dragon came during the night. It swooped in and took out the defenses before we had a chance to do anything. We tried to hold it back. The retreat was called. We had to pull back out of the town. But if you're from the guild, your damn people wouldn't listen. They kept fighting that stupid dragon. They got themselves all killed. We
Where the
pulled back
hell
out
are
of the
they
town to a better position, managed to ward it off. Well, they just threw their lives away, fighting it in the streets, where it already had a big advantage on them, with all the buildings destroyed. And then the ones on the walls, they're the fucking scavengers that came back trying to take everything. Didn't give a shit about the people that were left, the people that would be coming back. All they wanted was to take everything for themselves, the greedy fucks." And he spits on the ground your direction.
Oof. Big ooh.
Hmm.
Very tempted to sneeze
Carrick.
with the crossbow in the hand.
Carrick,
Yes. Yes.
put a crossbow bolt through our friend's leg here.
I need a dice. What is it? What's a crossbow
I
roll,
don't
Andrews?
think you even needed to stand.
Well-
stand perfectly still with their hand.
With advantage, because he can still try and move out of the
What
way.
am I rolling?
Just
Alright, I'll do
roll
this.
roll. I need to find your sheet.
Advantage, and then what?
Just
Longbow. It's
See
not
your
longbow, is it?
longbow. Just click it.
Actually, wait. Put a crossbow bolt through that guy's leg, the twitchy guy. Because I want to see if he says anything before you go to do it.
His eyes just wind up. He's like, no, no. Oh.
Oh, you're so...
So the bolt releases flying out so you were going for a leg.
Yes, a leg. Well, preferably the knee joint.
Okay, so as soon as you said it, you see his eyes go wide. He kind of puts his hands out like, no, 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 and then you hear the cracking of the bolt going straight through his kneecap and getting like jammed in there. Like the
Sorry, but
fletch is still sticking out the front of the knee, the head itself out the back of the knee, and he just drops to the floor screaming in pain. It's like, oh god, my knee, my knee. Ah. The other guy just kind of looks down at him, a bit of shock on his face, like, you fucking monsters. You're just like the rest of those savages. And the guy with the bolt in his knee is kind of just groveling on the floor, and you're kind of shaking on his side, like hands around his knee, not knowing what to do in shock.
Right.
Hoggers.
Right, Macaulay, or Carrick, keep the crossbow on that other one. I'm gonna have a
Reload.
talk with our friend on the ground here.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to the guy with the crossbow leg, with the crossbow bolt in his knee, crouch down beside him. Just put my finger to his lips, just like, shh.
You just gonna slit his throat, or
Calm. No. I didn't want to do that, but accidents do happen. So, I'm gonna have another go at this. Right? I have had the worst couple of months you could ever imagine. Even worse than you, and your whole town got turned to ice. So, there's two ways this is gonna go. Either you tell me the truth, and I give you this potion of healing that will keep you alive, or you lie to me again, and your friend here takes a crossbow bolt in the leg too. So, I'll leave it up to you.
So as he's shaking there, like eyes as wide as they could possibly be with fear and shock, he goes to start babbling, glances at the other guy, and then you see even more fear in his eyes. More fear than he has for what you said and what you did to him.
That's unfortunate. Carrick,
Achoo.
So you're just gonna shoot the second guy?
Jeez, I'm getting wild allergies off this rabbit, boys. It's not used.
this is where it goes all downhill. This is where
You
it
didn't,
goes.
you didn't skin her properly, like. Jesus
Chaotic
Christ.
So, where are you shooting at for this guy?
Oh, I won't tell.
You're what?
Straight through the chest.
So center mass.
Send her, man.
Okay, so oh yeah, roll 2 damage things for those as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the first guy took 8, and the second guy took 8. So, like the one that has the arrow in the knee, like you can tell he's like barely holding on to staying conscious. When you shoot the second guy, it just like plants itself kinda like just below, like middle of the chest, just below where the ribs would end. And he just stumbles back into the wall, barely holding himself up against it, like, oh! You're just like the rest. And spits up a big glob of blood, splatters onto the snow, like a couple feet from him in your direction.
That's
Well.
so unfortunate. Now, I'll ask you one last time. And if you haven't picked this up already, there'll not be a third round of questioning. This is the crosswoman dude I'm talking to, by the way.
Crossbow.
Tell me what I want to know.
He kind of looks down to the ground as you're speaking, and then just mumbles under his breath, I'm dead either way.
True, that is true. But what you fail to realize is you will die either quickly or, and then I'd grab the crossbow bolt that's in his knee and just twist it a bit.
Jesus.
You can see him flinching and squirming on the verge of passing out, but mutters under his breath, you know nothing of the people I work with. You don't know what's under that ice. You don't know. And then his eyes just keep getting wider of fear of something he is afraid of more than you killing him.
Under the house?
Under this house.
Under
we're
that
outside
house.
Right
Not that house. Like, that house. You have to work out what house he means yourself.
House?
And he's just gone quiet. Starting to kind of almost start shaking, like, almost like seizure level, but just severe shock, cold, and pain all in one.
Hmm.
What is your next move? Either of you.
Oh, none of them have given us anything.
Which one are you asking? The one that's gone into shock, or the other guy?
I'm not talking to that guy that's going into shock anymore because he's fucking useless now. So we'll go on to
he's
the
out of it.
next one.
We could call a bomb over here.
Good. I'm sure he probably heard the screams by now.
Yeah, you can see him like slowly lumbering his way over.
Like, how do I sort these two out?
Right. So Spearman, you wanna live, or you gonna be like your friend here?
He looks down at his friend, then looks back at you, and with pain but confidence in his voice, he just defiantly says, death by your hand is a better fate than the other choice. And just closes his eyes and just like puts his hands out like, just kill me. Though both of you make perception checks.
Do I have to sneeze again?
Just make perception checks.
Yep, I've lost my character sheet's disappeared. Why?
Okay. So after he says this, in the distance, in the direction of where the Lord's manor would be, you faintly hear a blood-curdling scream of pain. Like someone who's clearly being tortured. There's no other way you could describe a scream so violent, echoing out faintly across Medford.
God damn.
I mean, I'm all for leaving this town at this point. We'll just take what resources they've left and we'll just go south. Hell of a lot warmer than here.
Can't just leave.
Why not? Nearly died more than half a dozen times for these people.
That cunt Bar killed our brothers, and I will not leave until I see his head on a spike.
That's fair enough. What do you want to do with these two then? Clearly death. They embrace it, they don't fear it, so. I have to sneeze again? I mean, come on.
There are fates far worse than death.
That is true.
The guy that's having a
Finish them off.
shock attack he's passed out at this point.
Just execute them.
Achoo.
Then.
Achoo. Oh, jeez, the allergies is fucking mental, man. Like, there's one, and that's the second.
So where are you shooting them?
For the
I would
heart.
assume the head or the heart. I would assume.
The head of the heart was the heart.
So, as the one standing up against the wall, with his final words that there are fates worse than death, you just loose another of the crossbow bolts, just buries itself into his chest, straight into the heart. You see his hand kind of lift his chest, and then he slumps forward, face first into the snow.
I'm sorry.
The other one that's passed out from shock is just lying there. You just, walk up beside him, aim the crossbow and shoot him and walk off. Or do whatever.
I'm gonna throw the crossbow in the fire because I. Well, no, will I? Yes, I will. Destroy evidence. What do you mean?
Alright, let's check the storeroom out.
So you're going into the store. So the stone walls seem to be intact. The door is like a very heavy, like oak door. Seems a bit battered, but it is not currently locked. The lock already seems to be broken.
This is convenient.
So you're able to easily just push the door open. There are no lights inside, and you can vaguely see different crates and boxes. And to one side, a set of steps that go down into the under levels of the storeroom.
Car, you check downstairs. I'll check up here.
Alrighty.
So, is there anything specific you're looking for? This is literally every bit of supplies that wasn't like either took or moved out. So food, clothes, like tools.
Cash.
Possibly,
Okay.
possibly not. You would have to look very hard.
More food. I'm looking for
More food. I need
That's
food
what-
as well.
that's
That was
what
my first.
There are
mistake.
many crates that they're not bursting full. They're more like, most of them are like a quarter full, a third full, some almost empty. It seems
Enough
most of the
rations.
food has already been taken.
Enough rations for 10 days and a good old snack now, and we'll be on our way.
Okay, so you're both filling your bags with enough food for 10 days.
Yeah.
Except A-Bomb, fuck him.
No, Airborne can as well.
But he's not gonna be here for much longer.
He still needs to eat.
He needs food.
You give him a whole crate, he'll eat a lot.
True, but he still needs food. So,
Good loot.
you haven't
Oh, dear.
seen... We'll worry about that later. But there's been no sign of anybody else in the storeroom. Just seems to be you two looking around it right now.
Okay, go up again.
Any alcohol in here? Found today.
Bits and pieces
Lethal. We'll take a wee bit.
to bring with you or just to drink now.
Bring with me half a bottle of rum. You'd be surprised how.
Oh, you
often
could
I
take a
know that
full
you
bottle
could
of
drink
rum.
After. Oh, we'll take a full bottle then. There's one about.
Fuck, I'll take a full bottle of rum. Let's go.
Sure, it's like we've nearly died more times than one. I haven't had a drink in
Gonna
my
be
hand when I'm
cold
doing
as
it. Like,
hell.
fuck's sake.
Need the rum to warm the bones.
Fucking right.
Okay.
Right. Think.
I don't like that shit. It's too sweet. Oh god, the weights went up.
Right. I think we're gonna leave A bomb here.
Just
Maybe
open
get him
one
to
crate for him. We'll see him in a week.
maybe get him to like throw the bodies like right in the side somewhere, out of the way.
Throw them into the sea.
There's
Just
quite
drive.
still a bit of distance between you and the sea.
Um,
He's a big man. They can carry both at once.
we'll get an I want to get an empty crate too, and say we're leaving A bomb here to guard the place. I'm gonna put all my stuff in the crate that I don't think I need for what I plan on doing next.
Okay, we'll just leave it in your inventory for now.
Yeah,
I
we'll
would
just
say
leave
it's
it
in the crate.
inventory, but it just means I'm not for comfort.
Well, I don't know.
The only things I'm really taking with me, Andrew, are my swords, night vision goggles, my ring,
Yeah.
obviously my armor, and anything I'm wearing. Taking the potion of healing with me, and the rope and the grappling hook, and then the flask of oil and the tinderbox.
Okay,
That'll be about it.
so now that all your stuff is like stored, what are you doing next?
I'm gonna push a lap, I think.
Oh, we're going to visit the barn.
So you're going to a house, like the Lord's house?
On the way though, I want to see if Nathan's house is still standing.
Okay, so
What
come
about
out of
the
the.
trade store?
A lot.
Is everything just fucked in general?
Pretty much most of the buildings are either completely gone or partially gone.
Oh Jesus, that hussy in the fucking store was in good nick too, like in fucking bad crack.
Showed me money too.
Tramp.
Not gonna get that back.
Okay, so you want to start heading the direction of Nathan's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you start making your way that direction, this portion of Medford doesn't seem to be as bad as the rest. There's more like houses that might have been 2 stories where the top story's being cleaved off and like half the bottom story's still there. So it's a bit better, but it's still wrecked. But here, you start to hear a little, like as you get closer, you start to hear a little bit more noise rather than dead silence. You hear the odd shout echo across. You see the faint glow over the ruined buildings of torchlight moving between the houses. It seems like there is some activity in this portion of Medford.
Okay. So power on to Nathan's house nonetheless.
Sneakily or boldly?
Boldly at this point.
Oh, why we are.
Okay.
The ground quakes with our presence.
Maybe for a bomb,
Here comes the money.
Or are you leaving A-bomb in the store?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
leave
leaving,
Emma.
we're leaving Emma behind, like, guard the storehouse.
Okay. So, as you're just walking through the streets that direction, you're making your way down one of the alleys between two mostly still standing houses. And on the other side of the alley, you start to see some torchlight begin to like come down the street that you'd be coming out onto.
Okay, we'll just
Does
keep
that-
walking on.
Okay, so as you step out from the alleyway and glance the direction of the approaching light, you see that there are two more of the like Lord's armored guards patrolling down the street. One with a torch in hand. I think there's a guy with a spear and a shield, guy with a spear and a torch with a shield over his back, and a guy with a crossbow. Walking down with your improved night vision with goggles and elven eyes.
We can see them.
You can see them, but the torchlight just hasn't reached you to the point where they can see you properly just yet.
I have an idea. Are they walking towards us?
Yes.
Right. I'd like to pull Barrack back into this like I don't know, what do you call this? Alleyway is it? Or just a
Yeah,
road?
it's like a little alley.
Right. I just noticed something in inventory that I've forgotten about. They're walking this way. What if a ball bearings down here? They're gonna fall.
In the snow.
Didn't think about that. Okay, we'll like forget that. We'll forget that. Thought it was a well-worn road, but obviously not.
It's like the snow's been packed down, but if there's still a ball bearing, it would probably just sink into the packed
that can
snow.
be used as a distraction?
Probably many things.
See if it answers you two retards. Like I'm gonna. Oh, hang on.
Right, so suppose we'll just wait for these guys to.
Just gonna stand proudly in the middle of the road.
Well, we could start walking. Which way is Nathan's house? Do we have to go past them?
You would need to go over like down here.
Oh, we'll just go that way then.
Like down here and then like in through another street into like the kind of wee part he's in. It's still like a few houses over.
See if you can do that.
Bypass them.
Yeah.
You will need some stealth for this one.
Boop.
And is Macaulay here? I'm assuming not.
No.
Apologies, I'm getting constant interruptions here for the boys in the house. Right.
Self. Roll stuff.
Stealth.
Tom, why do you keep coming in here?
Stealth, Macaulay.
Lock your door.
Okay. So was the two of you seeing them before they've spotted you? Try and dash your way down. Well, sneak your way down out of their path. While they're slowly approaching.
Sneaky bit.
You see the glance over your shoulder, the one of the torch, and he holds up his spear to stop the others. As he gets down, looking at the snow, the torch down low, shining it over it, you hear them mumbling something to each other.
Someone's creeping about.
Must have been the wind.
Right.
Right,
Uh,
well,
Oops, that wasn't very
I'm gonna
stealthy.
go to this corner of this building and see if,
Like here.
yeah, and then see if they look to be. I'm gonna just sort of watch them to look if they like follow our tracks in this direction.
Okay. So, watching them, two of them stay back a bit, as the guy that has the torch is still low to the ground, following your tracks. The previous two a bit behind, giving him some space. And where you stop to look around and then go into the alleyway, he kind of stops, crouched down with the torch, following the tracks, and then lifting the torch up the direction you're in, and peering into the alley from across the road. Are you trying to hide in the darkness?
Yes.
More stealth. Unless you just want to kill him.
Well, do we notice what is he like a guard from the?
Yeah, all three of them are.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm a shadow in the night, boy.
you see him just like lifting his torch, trying to peer into the alley from across the street. Mutter something, then get up and walk back to his two fellow guards. In the darkness, he must not have spotted you.
That's right. We'll carry on to Nathan's like that.
Okay, so you sneak your way down the alley, trying to get away from these guys, going down through a couple more alleys and streets. But in this area of the town, there's definitely a lot more noise, and you begin to hear what sounds a lot like a wood being sawed and chopped, splintered. As you start getting closer, the clink of chainmail and armor, the thud of footsteps of guards on patrol. You're wandering your way into a more densely populated location at the minute.
Okay. Well, we'll just continue on. Essentially, just continue on till we get to Nathan's house or we run into trouble.
Okay. Need to find the right thingy. Alright, here we go. Okay. Let's see this. This.
Sick.
Now I can drag you to the new map.
Oh.
So you need to go top left.
Yep.
So as you're creeping your way down alleys and through the streets, you feel like you're getting... It's still harder to recognize in its ruined state, but you're definitely close to the location where Nathan's house would have been.
Okay.
So, what is your next move?
So I'll just move this corner and have a wee Lucky up the street, and Car can look the other way and look up the other street.
Roll a wee perception check.
Good.
See nothing.
Okay, so you can see. So if you're like goggles, you can see. Oh, that's the wrong. You can see to about here, and you can hear some muffled voices coming from the building directly across the street. Where through like some of the broken,
Whereabouts
splintered wood.
is Nathan's house.
You'd think it would be a couple houses past that one. Like this direction.
Well, okay. Right. Well.
You're definitely in the right neighborhood, though.
Oh, hey.
I'm gonna move across the street to the corner of this building
Why are there guards here?
because they're inside. Can't hear them. Well, we don't know their guards yet. Can we hear anything more clearly now that we're inside the building?
Now that you're getting up close, it's pretty obvious that someone in here has a saw and someone has an axe. And they're chopping and hacking and sawing at different parts of the rubble, trying to get through it and throw it to the side. And one of them, like, you take a peek over the broken wall, and one who's got an axe that's like trying to chop through one of the big like roof beams that's fell across part of the floor. You hear him like mumbling to the other one, "Why do we have to do this fucking cleanup detail? What are they looking for anyway?" And the second guy with a saw trying to cut at another smaller beam, it's like, "You know the orders. We need to find the house and find out what's under it. We got some good intel that this is something to do with that damn Kiev all those roaches are from. Now get back to work." And the two of them keep sawing and hacking.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Best we find this house pretty fucking quick.
Do you think it could be Nathan's house?
Who else house could it have been?
Guess so. There's only one way to find out.
Push on, sleep when you're dead.
Going to sneak past.
Yeah.
Full bore.
Stealth that shit. Oh.
That's just close.
Okay, so as you're sneaking past, they seem to be mostly distracted. You, as you're stepping along, there's like a small, like, little, like, thin piece of wood underneath the snow that you stand on and crack. But it was perfectly timed with the swing of the axe chopping into the wood that neither of them seemed to have noticed that something outside the house was disturbed.
Nice.
So sneaking further along, would have a better view of this house. This wee alleyway. And looking down the next alley in front of you, you see just coming across the exit of the alley some torchlight as... Come on, let me remove the darkness. As another patrol starts to move down the street.
What, like moving in that direction?
Moving this way.
Yeah, okay. Oh shit. Clark, get in.
So diving for cover and waiting a few seconds.
Yeah.
It seems they've passed by without actually noticing you were there.
Sweet. Come on. Bound to be getting close.
Gonna peek around the corner.
Yeah.
So peeking around, you can see that the patrol is heading on past and can just barely see some of the, like, this house here, that corner. You see it and you think that might be one of the corners of Nathan's house. Though it doesn't look like there's much left from what you can see through the darkness.
Hmm. Okay. Right. Well. we'll just wait here till them guys move a wee bit further along, I think, maybe then. Or see what they do.
So as you're sitting waiting, the patrol moves on out past the vision of your night vision goggles into the darkness.
Okay, I'm just gonna slowly sneak up this way. So
Make some more stealth. Like a sneaky boy.
Sorry.
you need
Okay.
Carrick.
Oh. Yeah, I do.
So as you're creeping your way along, you get a better look of like the house that you saw in the dark. You look at it and you're like, this looks like part of Nathan's house, but why is it upside down? And then you look across the street to the other side of this house, where there's a portion of like the kind of corner pillar that would have held up the roof. It's got knocked off of here and has fell across the street. You can see like a big indent in the snow where it was and then pushed up against this house. So it's kind of sitting there precariously looking like it might fall back over.
So this is Nathan's house.
Yes, this is his house, but there's a very precautious looking pillar that might tip and fall on you.
Oh dear. Well, I think we'll just maybe head over here.
As you're kind of creeping around in the snow, you
So
do
what,
see
like a stone pillar that's just
it's like a big wooden beam.
leaning across that has fallen on the roof of this house or something.
Yeah, like it's like it would have fell down and blocked the street,
Wait a minute.
but they've like
Why do I only have
tipped it up
29 HP?
onto the side of that other house out of the way. Though it's kind of sitting vertical against it,
I don't know.
and a
Sounds
slight
like
No.
a slight gust of wind
my
might
hit
knock it
point is
over.
37.
It just needs updated. It's fine.
probably just put it up yet. You can do it yourself.
Can you?
But while you're
Oh, you
creeping
can.
around at the edge of the houses, you do.
Battery must have gotten baited.
Must have done.
Or
I was talking with mute on. God damn it.
nice.
But like the corner pillar had fell and blocked the road, and not caring which house it's from, they kind of just hoisted it up and tipped it onto that other, like rested it against the pillar of the other house. So just by
Okay.
tapping it, it might just tip over and crush some people. But you do get a look into these next couple houses, and you see groups of people in both that they're working away like the previous guys, trying to clear out some of the rubble out of the way. But in the house that's actually Nathan's, you see a guy that seems to stand with more purpose. He's more self-importance than the rest. Kind of overseeing the other two workers, shouting over at them, "You! Move this piece of rubble out of my way. I need to check this section of the house. I think we might be on to the right one." And they come over and start talking a little bit in hushed voices before spreading out to try and move certain bits of rubble, like hack apart beams with their axes and saws, trying to clear it out of the way for them. Both definitely distracted over in this corner.
Where is the entrance? Is it here?
Yeah, the door's like right there in the middle.
Right.
And this is his house, or thingy's house.
Yeah, it is.
Just trying to cross-reference my maps. They're in this corner.
Oh, okay. Right. We'll sneak up. Is the door open, or is there even a door?
There's a door, but it's hanging on by like one hinge, blowing in the wind.
Right. So, I think I should be able to take 2 of these guys, and you can take 1.
That's fair enough.
So you're getting ready to bust into the house.
Yes. If we could do it stealthily, all the better.
Okay. Do some stealthy boy rolls.
Right, in through the door.
Oh.
Dogs.
Oh. Very nice.
And then, right, so I'm gonna sneak up behind these guys, obviously. And how does this work, Andre? As in, like, assassinate? Can I use? I know I can use, like, I've got the 2 long swords, right?
Yeah.
So, what do I advantage on enemies that? What is it?
So if you attack him now, they haven't took a turn, so you would get advantage on the attacks. And if you actually hit, since they would be surprised since they don't know you're there, it's an automatic critical hit. So pretty much you just like automatically hit them.
Can I use action surge as well?
Yes.
So that would be 3 attacks I have,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Indeed it would.
Right. So I'm gonna. Can I like use 2 action surges or 2 attacks on one and then 1 attack on another?
You can just like allocate them out as you go. Just in case like you kill a guy in one hit. So you don't waste
Okay,
an attack
right,
on a dead
well,
body.
Gonna sneak up behind this guy and then sort of as we're sneaking in, I'm sort of pointing the car to take this guy.
Which one? I didn't see that.
The one on your
Devil.
side.
Yeah, okay.
So who's gonna go first?
I shall go first.
Shit.
So,
What?
do I hit this with advantage? Yes.
You pretty much just need to roll. Yeah, advantage. But if you hit, it's automatically critical hit damage.
Big oof.
Okay, so it is a hit, and then you need to roll.
What's the longsword? 2d8?
So
It would be
1d8
2d8
3.
plus 3.
Jesus.
Roll. So that's
13.
damage.
So, where are you like striking at this guy?
Right in
Probably
the
like right in the back.
Okay, so as you creep up, long sword drawn, and take a confident like go into his back, you feel his armor underneath like the Lord's tabard catch most of the blow. It does kind of stagger him and knock the wind out of him, but this is like you get a sense this is a well-trained, experienced soldier. That won't go down so easily. But you still have 2 more attacks.
So here comes the second Lord.
Oh god.
Oh.
Oh.
I should have said, is that not advantage anymore?
22, 22, doesn't
He still hasn't had a turn, so I think it is. Because this is all happening in like seconds.
So do I roll 2d8s again?
Yes. Because he still doesn't know what's happening. These attacks are like a second apart. So
So that's
8.
5, 8.
Where's this one aimed?
Into the shoulder.
So you bring your offhand down into the shoulder, but he's wearing some sort of like mail chain like vest under his clothes, and it catches it, doesn't like cut through, but knocks his shoulder down, and he's starting to like, get ready to turn around to try and retaliate. But you can make your third strike. And the damage again. Oh,
14.
where are you going this time?
Probably the one that I put into his back. Probably just try to slash his like, or no, hit him with the pommel of the sword.
Like back of the head.
Back of the head, yeah.
So you've slashed him across the back, hit his shoulder, and when you're coming in for a final strike with a pommel, he's like just got his head turned around to see what's going on, and you just dome him in the side of the head, just crack him, and he just falls limp to the floor, almost collapsing on top of Carrick.
Nice.
Ew.
Still alive, but unconscious. And now, Carrick's
That
turn.
was tough.
What attacks are you making on your target, which would be happening simultaneously to the guy that's just been knocked out?
Short sword right through the fucking gut, I suppose.
Roll an
What do I
attack.
need?
Just
Short
click it in your
sword.
sheet.
Yes, and then the
That would be it.
damage. What's critical? Is it critical damage?
Not for you. You don't have that
Ones.
ability.
I got a humble 4, which is a 1.
So
Thank you, game. Thank you.
you're like a split second behind Barrack's flurry of blows, and this guy's already started the turnaround. And you just kind of graze across his chain shirt armor. So you still have like your dagger in your offhand if you want to give a stabby stab.
Stabby stab it is. Oh, it's probably not enough.
And nope, your dagger just gets caught in the chain and slides off. And now we need to roll initiative. Because the actual combat is starting now that the surprise round is done. So are you faster than the guards? You might get 2 turns in a row.
Where the fuck is initiative?
Near the top. In the middle.
Oh, it is.
15. What about the barrack?
Oh, sorry.
17. So we will first have Barrack, then Carrick, and then everybody else.
Great
So-
to see.
These guys have now realized what's going on, but you still have the chance to attack again.
Is it dark in this house, by the way?
There's not really much of a roof, but the sun has set. It's only really moonlight. Well, not moonlight, planet light, since you are the moon. But there's not that much light, it's pretty dark.
Hmm.
It's kind of just like like a lantern here, a candle there. That's really the main source of light in these houses.
Andrew, how does cunning action, right? It allows me to use an additional move that either allows me to dash, disguise, or hide, right?
Yeah.
So if I just said I wanted to hide right now, right? How would that work?
you would have to make stealth against their perception, but you would have to go somewhere that's like out of their line of sight.
Okay, so I couldn't just like, go hide and then it just disappears.
If you were a wood elf, I believe you could, because they've got like a hide in plain sight thing.
Right, well, we'll just make it easy and we'll charge this guy and put the two long swords in him.
Your
This one,
first
and this.
scrape, like it cuts through the tabard clothes, but slides off his chain shirt.
Aha!
The second you find an opening, jam the blade in there. You feel it catch some flesh before you rip it out. Carrick, what attacks do you want to do this round?
Is he facing me this time, or
He's like turned, getting ready to.
stabby stabby? Shit.
So
Sword.
you go to try and stab it again with your short sword, but you're kind of off balance on the rubbly ground. Lose your balance on the rocks and stumble closer to him. But like you're kind of fell
Okay.
into him, but
Giving him
that's
a
about
hug.
it. Pretty much giving him a hug.
Now for the follow up. Ah.
But with your stumble, your dagger kind of slides uselessly off his jean shirt.
Yeah.
But now, it is their turn. The guy that's at Carrick, you see, he's got like a woodcutter's axe in his hands that he was using to try and chop some of the wooden debris out of the way. He pushes Carrick back. Make a strength roll, Mackay.
A strength roll.
Yes. So he pushes you back from him, then swings the axe round, trying to get a hack into you with it. But he pushed you too far, and you just kind of used the push to leap out of the way of his swing. As he just swings straight in front of your chest, kind of Troy style, scraping your armor.
Nice.
The second guy, who has a saw, just you kind of see him just glance at his saw as he tries to like swing the teeth at you to maybe catch you with them or something.
Oh.
He actually hits me with it.
Yay.
Can't believe this man hit you with a saw. So
Death by
he just like swings it up wildly, and you feel like the teeth kind of catch into the flesh of your neck and slide down the side, like nicking your skin a bit, giving you 4 points of damage. As you know, got a few weak cuts down your neck now from the teeth of the saw. But as this skirmish is beginning, one of them, the guy with the saw, starts to panic and he scream as loud as he can. They're like, "Help! The sergeant's dead!" And then gets you with the saw. And his scream isn't very loud, it's more of a gasp. And you don't hear anything from the immediate area, but we're back to the top of the round, back to Barrick.
Nice. Well, fuck that guy and fuck his saw. Boom.
That is indeed a hit.
Boom. Boom. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, goodbye, sir.
Where are you swinging?
I'm just gonna decapitate him.
So
Or no,
this
I mean like one sword to the gut, and then I'm gonna put the other sword like straight through his mouth as he's screaming.
So you find like an opening where his chain shirt kind of ends. Slide your longsword straight up under the gap into his guts. As he goes to scream out, you just plunge the second one straight down his throat as he starts gurgling on the blade and his own blood, going limp on your blades. Any movement or further actions?
I think I shall move into this guy's influence of combat, just so it maybe will give Carrick a bonus.
Indeed. Carrick, what is your plan?
Ah, stabby again, I suppose.
Make your roll.
Stabby.
Jesus.
So, you take out your
Oh my
longsword
God.
and your dagger, trying to close the distance, but this
Least
guy with his
effective
axe,
damage.
Does he not have advantage?
he gets extra damage if he hits.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That
So
is
like, you're
unfortunate.
trying to keep out of his axe range, so you're just falling short with your swings. As this guy's backed into the corner between you two. You see him like knuckles going white as he's tightening his grip around the axe, and takes another swing for Carrick, trying to catch him off guard this time. He barely connects with the axe.
Oh,
He just catches you in the chest. Kinda the metal on metal side as the axe collides straight into the breastplate, knocking you back a bit, taking 6 points of damage.
oh, damn.
But the metallic ring kinda boom just rings out, bouncing off the ruins of the houses.
Oh, shit, well, that's not good.
As he tries to call out for assistance again. But you see, this guy's breathing heavy. He must have been doing a lot of work before you showed up. And doesn't put much effort into his, like, I need help. Oh god. I need help.
You.
So you then swoop in with 2 more blows of your longswords, both of them hitting.
Oh, both of them hit?
Yes. He doesn't have a shield, so he's slightly easier to hit. And an extra d6, since
Oh, yeah.
Macaulay is in range. So, ooh.
Oh God.
So where are you aiming on this guy?
Probably chest, neck, head.
Okay, so your first strike gets him in the chest, knocking him a bit off balance. You come in with the second to go for the neck head area, and the blade like catches his neck as it's sliding along to cleanly slice his head off. He barely like by an inch gets out of the way for just a slice across his neck, severe enough that he will bleed out, but still standing, one hand like clutched up at his severed artery. He has minutes to live, probably. 1 health, pretty much.
Stick your fork into them, come.
No, I'll just throw Leroy at him and I'll finish him off.
Is that what you want your attack to be? Leroy could finish him off.
Could Leroy finish him off?
Ooh, my
Yes,
Leroy
he
level
could.
up here.
Leroy will take the. I'll just put him in my hand
Go
and
for
he'll
the
do the.
neck, Leroy.
So you reach into your pocket, clutch Leroy in your hand, and just kind of toss him towards him.
Finish. No, well, I just put him in my hand. Look at him go. Finish him and then just.
Okay.
throw him at his neck.
roll an animal handling check first.
This is gonna backfire. No!
So as you take a Leroy out of your pocket and go to start saying finish him, you look at him, you're like, damn, Leroy is really thin and scrawny looking. Still alive, but weak, malnourished. He's not looking so good.
Give him encouragement to eat him, lad. Give him encouragement. Oh,
So-
cannibal mouse.
Are you still taking the throw to throw him? He's not looking too good, but
Well, I was gonna throw him. We're just gonna like.
well, you are like maybe 6 feet away from this guy. You'd need to give him a wee toss for him to get there.
A toss, fine. That's
Oh,
acceptable.
toss him, eh?
Toss,
So are you gonna
What
keep him
about-
in your hand, or are you gonna actually toss him?
toss him. Fuck it.
Well, the toss isn't the thing. Like Leroy, Leroy would hit him, but that's what does Leroy do? So make an attack roll with, let's say, +2 for Leroy.
What am I rolling though? A D4?
No, a D20 for Leroy's attack. Leroy has landed. He gets the scent of blood, and
Yes!
like he lands on his arm, barely claws clutching into the chainmail as the guy looks down like, what the fuck is that? And then starts scampering up his arm, across the chest, and where the guy's like holding onto his neck. You see Leroy start trying to bite at his fingers, where the guy pulls his hand out and Leroy just pounces for the open wound of the neck,
Jesus.
biting in at the artery and exposed blood vessels and like burrowing his head in there, just biting and ripping things up as the guy falls to the ground, clawing, trying to grab Leroy to pull him out. But he's soaked with blood, slippery fur turning red and crimson. His hands are sliding off. As there's just like he's just throwing a blood curdling scream of pain as this mouse is eating his throat from this. It's just eating him from the inside.
Good lad.
Like the blood is it's like squirting out like a fucking fountain. As Leroy is just drinking and eating this man's insides.
Let him die.
This will be a painful death. This could go on for a few minutes before he actually dies of blood loss.
Let him sort that out. Let him sort
As
that out,
he's
yeah.
still screaming in pain,
God, I
as
just
loud as
can't
he can, but it's not the loudest screaming you've heard. But for a weak man that's about to die, this is pretty good screaming.
Shut him up. Punch him or something, I don't know.
Does Leroy not do one bit of damage?
No, like this is Leroy's gonna kill him, but it's gonna take him a while to die.
I thought he'd be choking on his own blood if he was trying to scream.
Yeah, he is choking on his own blood, like blood curdling, gargling.
Well,
attempts
I
to scream.
Cal,
So you can either finish him off or let Leroy finish the job. Either way, he's dead. It's
I think
just
Leroy
finish
should-
him or leave him.
I think Leroy should take the honors, really.
My God.
you're a terrible Sam. Oh, I mean, I would say something, but we just murdered 2 people.
Oh,
But this takes the cake.
this does.
It's certainly a memorable finishing point anyway.
Right.
Pardon me.
I'm gonna run over here to the doorway. Just have a look out and see if I can see anyone.
Well, as you're starting to move across the building, you hear a few shouts and calls going, "Oi! Everything okay over there?"
Just do your best.
And you can
bandit
hear
accent,
the
lad.
clinking of some armor and footsteps coming down the road as the patrol is on its way back, and you can see movement in the house across the street.
Ah, shit. Right, quick thinking, I'll just go. Yeah, just the stupid idiot here cut his finger with a saw, but he's gonna be alright.
That will be a persuasion check right there. Or no, deception, because you're lying.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed. So as you shout that out, you hear a reply calling out, "We'll come and check on it. Don't want him getting some filthy disease from that solid. I don't know. What's that thing? Tetanus or titrus? We're coming over anyway." And the clinking of footsteps and meal gets louder.
I wanna hide when they're out of. I wanna hide.
Leroy,
You think-
nearly finished it.
Could I, like, jump above the doorway on it?
Yeah, you could climb up on top of some of the rubble in the house.
I'm above the doorway and the rafters.
Okay. Macaulay.
I can't leave Leroy behind, can I?
Well, he's like burrowing himself into the neck. You need to yank him out of there.
We'll leave him. We'll leave him. We'll leave him. He'll be alright.
Like,
Really?
at this point, you'd be able to just hear faint moans of the guy as he's about to pass out and die from blood loss.
Nice.
You can see like the little red tail of Leroy flipping flicks of blood back and forth as he's feasting his way into the neck.
Really?
This is probably the first time in weeks Leroy has been able to get like proper fresh food.
You put through Leroy at him?
Hey!
Really? Now? Of any time?
How else am I gonna level up my animal handling, lad? Come on.
That's not how it works, man.
Start with the wee ones and then you make your way up to a bear or something. It'll be alright.
What the fuck? Do you not see? Look at that man over there.
What? He's dying.
That's someone's husband, man.
Well, you weren't saying that earlier when when I sneezed with the crossbow 3 times. Come on, look, this is all irrelevant. Like, we're gonna worry about the people coming down the road, and we'll discuss this
Hey,
after.
I don't care how you kill him. It's not the fact that you killed him. It's the fact that you threw a fucking mouse into his mouth.
Look,
And
Leroy
now he
needs to eat.
screamed like fuck, and now there's more guards coming.
Leroy needs to eat too. We'll deal with the consequences. It'll
You
be
can
alright.
throw him in there when he's already dead.
Leroy needs like
Oh god.
We get out of this.
Okay. Are you ready?
I hate to break in here, but I do
No,
want to go
no.
off in the next 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and I'm not staying on any longer.
Then hurry up. Shh, be quiet.
You're the
It's
one
hard.
delaying it.
A fight could take longer than 10 minutes.
I'll be fine.
I'm not staying on past 11.
Well, make some stealth checks. Oh,
I can't find stealth now. There it is.
Second one at the bottom.
okay. So as you're both hiding up in like the rafters above the house, you see the patrol arriving back. One of them pulling out like a little pouch and pulling some like rags, and bandages and stuff out of it. As they start to open the doors, like, hello? Oh, he must have passed out. Come on, quick, quick! And they're not gonna get out of the way. So they each then start piling in, shouting over to the other guys that are across the street. Now, you just be careful. We don't need any more lost fingers looking for this damn basement. Okay? Your pay will be cut. Your rations will be halved. No more incidents.
Wait, what?
And start piling in through the door.
Yeah, they're in the door.
What are you going to do next?
gonna sit here a bit until they start. I want at least 2 of them inside the building.
So they start coming through the door. The guy in the front's got a lantern that he is shining through the house like, where are these idiots? They better not have went off somewhere else without getting treatment first. And then he like looks in the snow like, hey, is that blood in the ground? He goes to crouch down with the lantern. Where you look down, you see like the snow around all this rubble has got like splatters of red on it from the projectile blood being squirted out past Leroy across the room.
Nobody sees nothing. It does nothing.
See what they do if they move in a bit more.
Okay, so the guy's down looking, but holds his hand up to them behind him. Something's not right here.
Robo.
Starts creeping forward a little bit, and then just drops the lantern, and Paul like grips his halberd back in 2 hands, looking around. The sergeant's dead. Someone must be here. Warn the others. Something's going on down in this shithole of a town.
Right.
This must be the right place.
I'm gonna drop down. Do you have your bow knocked, Car?
Oh, glad I had my bone out 20 minutes ago. Like.
Okay, that's good. Right, I'm gonna drop down on top of this guy in the doorway.
Sword and shield, dude.
Yeah. And just
As he
drop
drops, I
down
fire.
and just slice him in the back with both swords.
Okay.
Who do you want to do first, Andrew, me or Jacob?
That's up to you to decide who's going first.
Probably I would probably drop first.
Yeah, I'd drop and then I'd
Gareth
fire.
would probably like fire the arrow.
Okay. Which one are you going for, the guy between your characters?
I'm shooting this guy.
Well, yeah, he's going. I'm going for this one.
Okay.
And I'll shoot this one.
Make your first attack. With advantage.
Boom. Okay, didn't need it.
No, roll it anyway, you might get a crit. Because they're not surprised, since they are aware something is going on. Okay, good thing you rolled the first one. Okay, so that is 2 hits.
Well, they're not surprised.
They've been alerted that something is wrong, so that they know something's going on, since he saw the body. Surprised is like,
But
you attacked them before he saw that there was blood in a dead body. They don't know where you're coming from, which is where your advantage is from.
But is it? It says
minutes.
automatically critical hit against a creature that is surprised.
Yes, they're not surprised.
Would
They
this
know-
be surprised?
They know there's a threat, is the thing. So they're prepared for your attack. They just don't know where it's coming from, which is the advantage.
Okay.
The surprise is just like, you don't know, like, you're going down the road in a cart, and the kobolds shoot you with bows.
Fuck.
But you never knew there were kobolds. What is that thing that popped up?
I think I might have clicked on Collie's longbow thing instead.
Damn it.
There's mine. 6.
Mine was only a 4 from a
6.
longbow?
You rolled bad.
Jesus.
I mean, you just hit him in a bad spot. It's fine.
Another 1 plus 3.
Keep
I
it
love
going.
this game.
So you're like dropping down on him, trying to
Yeah.
like jam the blades into him as you fall.
Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check to make sure you don't fall on your ass after stabbing him. Just in case. Could roll a 1.
I'll have to take advantage of.
26.
Uh,
Damn. So you gracefully just drop
fab.
like Ezio in Assassin's Creed, just drop down, coming down with the blades to try and jam them both in. You get one blade past the chain shirt, jamming it like down into his side. The other blade like hits him hard but scrapes along the chainmail, knocking him to the ground. But he starts trying to roll over in pretty bad pain, but still alive.
Okay.
And you're shooting at the guy further into the house, guy.
Yeah.
Where are you shooting him?
I was aiming for the neck.
Okay, so you loose your shot, but he's moving, trying to, on his toes, like in the boxing ring, and your arrow just slices past, cutting like a little gash through his skin, but nothing vital. Little blood trickling down. If Leroy sees it, he might go berserk again. But now we
You
show.
got a taste for human blood.
Yes.
Initiative.
Yes. We'll do initiative. Oh,
Nice.
not good. Okay, so guards are going first.
Yep.
So the one on the ground rolls over and staggers back to his feet, raising up his shield, and we'll move you guys a bit. There we go. Like getting his shield back off the ground and getting ready, taking like a little quick shank your direction, hoping to catch you off guard. But you're just too fast and duck out of the way of his half-hearted attack.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Though the second guy takes a step to form up to the side of his friend, and you now get a better look at his weapon, and it's a long halberd, and he just swings it, trying to go like over and around his friend to try and strike you from afar with his reach advantage.
Just roll a 1.
He does not roll a 1. He hits you. Getting good. Let me see. He swings it round, getting a good strike with like the blade of the weapon, getting you like along one of your arms, hits into your leather, slides over it, slices across like your bicep, drawing blood. If you hadn't been wearing your leather, you might have got a broken arm, taking 10 damage from the strike.
Damn.
Halberds are very dangerous weapons. And then as these two are engaging in the scuffle, the halberd shouts to the one outside, "Quick! Raise the alarm!" The crossbowman takes a wee pot shot with disadvantage as he tries to start running to get help. And it flies. It just like he's outside, but he shoots the door for him. Like even though he's a couple feet from it, he just panics, pulls the trigger, shoots completely the wrong direction, and then starts screaming out, "Help! Help! We're under attack! The sergeant's being killed! Somebody please!" Screaming at the top of his lungs, you can hear the scuffle of feet as the guys from across the road start emerging from their house
Oh shit.
as they start running out.
Right. That's gonna have to do me. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to kill. That's gonna take too long. It's gonna be here like another hour.
There could be more in the darkness.
There could be more, but I want to go to bed. I have an assignment to finish tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah. I know.
Leaving
That's
Leroy
only
to
2.5
feast.
hours. Yeah, but Leroy got the W tonight, and that's all I care about. He got the W.
He got a kill.
Exactly. It's taken months, literal months, that he's got there.
Leroy has reached level 2.
He's reached
See,
ultimate.
next week you'll leave him behind. We'll
Not
leave
to-
this building, and then I'll be like, "Hey, where's Leroy?" It was like,
No,
"Oh shit."
Leroy. Andrew will good job reminding me of Leroy feasting on the flesh of that poor scrub.
It'll be like a couple weeks from now, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember Leroy."
better
He's
than
he's
the
living inside that rotting corpse you left in Medford, eating everyone inside out.
Excellent. He will never run out of food. Good luck to him.
Because it is still cold and frosty, so all the bodies will be preserved. Leroy would have unlimited food
Unlimited food for
for
him.
the whole winter.
You pick up the scraps A-bomb left behind after eating a full crate of food.
Oh boy.